Hello, guys, and welcome back. We are finally going to be getting into our semi-final map, and it will be time to get into this one. It will be very interesting, though. It's T versus T, and of course, we are going to be going for our standard first map as per usual in this upcoming best of five. So my name is Dax, and we will be bringing you guys the action in just a bit. For our first map, though, we will be getting into, of course, Ever Dream LE. So getting into Ever Dream, it's gonna be pretty classic, that's for sure. Something so standard that everyone knows how to play in the first place. And it will be nOtoRioUsPiG versus RazerBlader in a TVT. This is gonna be a big one. This is the battle of some of the best Terrans from both the UK as well as the AU region. And we'll talk about these two players in just a bit, but all you should need to know that this is a really strong matchup between some of the best that the region can truly offer. Now, the story about, well, the funny thing is that the top three from the UK are all eligible here in the rest of Asia kind of bracket. But as we are going to be getting into the game, let's introduce our players first, and let's tell that story there and then. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go. We are finally into our action. The wait is over, and we are going to be getting into our semi-final matchup. Whoever wins this is going to be moving on to the group stage of the ESL ANZ champs. Loser drops down to the lower bracket, still a chance to make it in a one-man lower bracket mover honor. But introducing first here on the bottom left of Everdream LE, it is our Red Terran rising back from the grave, really bringing it on here in the ESL ANZ Champs qualifiers. It's our Red Terran, nOtoRioUsPiG. And his opponent here on the top right, you may know him from the EU side. You may know him representing Pakistan as well. It is the Blue Terran here, showing off for Team Red Dragons. It is RazerBlader. Okay, so let me just get really quickly into the story of how do we have UK players here. So the thing about it is, the top three of UK, Risky as well as T-Bull and this guy, RazerBlader, all eligible because of, well, some of their citizenship. Risky is from NZ2, as well as UK, RazerBlader and T-Bull, both from Basket, and if I remember correctly. So that means they are eligible for playing into this bracket. Now, the thing to note is, if wherever they're based on, those latency issues might be a defining factor, but having that EU pedigree really adds up to the repertoire, and we'll find out if nOtoRioUsPiG can handle this true test in front of him. So looking back at qualifier number 1, it was RazerBlader dropping on down against T-Bull in the lower bracket, allowing our Protoss to move on to the group stage. In the meantime, nOtoRioUsPiG dropping on down to the lower bracket there against Justice Simon and couldn't make it further from that. So, redemption time here for both of our Terran players. And it's going to be really interesting. Ballpark within these two players. I've seen RazerBlader actually play in an Australian Open once at the start of the year. So we'll find out if he can actually keep it up and make it work, because he's been having a pretty good run so far. Looking at the brackets between these two players here for RazerBlader, beating out the likes of Run Amok, Starduck, and Chase. In the meantime, here for nOtoRioUsPiG, he was able to eke it out against Soundwave, Dark Void 322, as well as Peppy to make it to the semi-finals. But enough about our intros, enough about the stories. Let's talk about the game, and let's talk about what this is going to be all about. TVT action, and what's going to be planned here. Rax as well as Factory here for the side of nOtoRioUsPiG. In the meantime, it is going to be RazerBlader actually not getting the add-ons. He wants to go for these units first. TechLab going to be into play. Hellion going to be onto the outskirts to try and get scouting information. And both sides pretty even at getting this command center on. Seems like though for nOtoRioUsPiG, he wants to go for Twin Reapers right now, and maybe he can get some good economical damage here and there. A few picks onto SCVs, trying to get the build on over. And a starport gonna be into play here. 1-1-1 expand for both sides. And that is just gonna be a little bit of a catch on to the Reaper already. We'll find out what this is gonna be all about, as these are the Hellions as well as the Reapers moving on forward. And you know, technicality all aside, it's just gonna be a great game coming our way, no matter what. Reaper's gonna be out in front here. Cyclone getting the lock on. There we go. The SCV's out in front. Cluster Bomb though to try and get a little bit of the push. And Pig right now, he does have these 4 Marines. He's looking to set up his standard bunker later on. For the time being, he is going to be getting that mule online. Now, the one thing to take note here for Pig is he has to keep an eye out of that supply. He's been supply blocked twice in a row last series, so that's something he needs to make sure that isn't going to happen into this game. He is ahead though on the working out slightly, and he is going to be looking to get the refinery action into work. Both sides now with 3 gas. There we go with supply depot in behind there for RazerBlader. And it seems like it's very similar builds right now for both of our players. It is going to be Ravens going online, siege tanks as well, and it has to be a matter of positioning here. But from what I've seen from nOtoRioUsPiG, it seems like he knows really where to position these things. Cyclone was just there, ready to go for the lock-on. And when he was setting up with the siege tanks in the last series, that's even better there. So if he can keep that one up, that can give him the edge against RazerBlader here. But in the meantime, you know, it's fun to see such a mirror kind of composition already. But multiple Ravens gonna be on the list here for both of our Terrans. And here we go with the mules dropping on down yet again. Seems like RazerBlader though is keeping an eye out to see if there's any kind of drop play. But he's just looking for pokes. He's trying to get these Hellions to get on through. But the siege tank, of course, shock cannon in hand, ready to get the destruction on. But this is truly a battle to see which is the better Terran. If I remember correctly, RazerBlader in the top 3 in the UK region. nOtoRioUsPiG coming on back, as we said before. Top 5, you can see even top 3 perhaps in the AU side. So it really is similar outlooks, with similar ballparks. But you can say that there is a little bit of favor there for RazerBlader with the experience, but maybe in latency, it's Pig with the advantage there. The back's still going to be going online, and interesting enough, Pig will be deciding to go for twin engineering base here. So double upgrades, double trouble. And we've seen this before here from Pig. He's able to get upgrades so quickly. It's like mom used to make a big casserole, and you are just happy to eat a little bit of it and end up with a full week worth of food. Vikings now also going to be into play here. Still for RazerBlader, going to be adding things up to his collection. Scan's going to be online to get some information on. And it seems like both sides are anchoring to get that third base up and running. Pig, though, going to be ahead on the economy still. He's keeping an eye out with the siege tanks. Doesn't really need the biggest army, but RazerBlader is on the march. And any upgrades right now online for either side seems like it's not the case. But something to take note has to be these Ravens, because they do have a good amount of energy in them for the time being. This is the wind-up to the DreamHack SC2 Masters Fall. And we'll see right now the Odd-Thirds are littering the battlefield here. Extra DPS going online. And here comes the Siege Tank right now. Set up on to the west side. Siege Tanks getting the blow on up yet again. And it's just going to be a battle of cannons between these two players. But RazerBlader actually getting the range onto the orb of the command. We'll see if Piglet can go for the creeping barrage. This is unfortunate here for nOtoRioUsPiG. That was so very close, but no cigar. And with the Vikings into play, this is only a matter of time till the CC will go down. So just one small step there for RazerBlader. Gonna give him one giant leap in getting the DPS on. And this will drain the resources of Pig, so it's not really free repairs right now. So he has to be very careful on what the plan is here. He can actually go for the lift off onto the west side, but RazerBlader just wants to take the lead, just wants to get the economy back in his favor. And a Hellion is parked under, and for some reason the command center cannot crush it whatsoever. Vikings still gonna be into play. The medevac can't even survive. Scan gonna be there as well. And Big right now looking to creep on forward, but RazerBlader is ready for it. He has these shock cannons ready to go. And goodbye, Moonman. Goodbye to this army. That's gonna be RazerBlader holding the line. And now looking for the advantage instead. Vikings turning into the assault mode down below. GG is called. And that's just one pixel perfect move from RazerBlader that allows him to get that victory in this first game. Oh my god, that was just so unfortunate there for Pig. And that is just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. RazerBlader, literally an inch better in the position, and sometimes an inch can go a long mile and get things done. Well-renowned victory there from RazerBlader, doing all he can and more. Really, really impressive to say the least there from our British as well as Pakistani player, and he is doing a good job to represent both sides, both regions as much as possible. But what the game that was, in all honesty, it was very cookie cutter. It was very mirrored in so many ways. And in all honesty, I saw Pig coming ahead of that one for quite a while, but that one siege tank from RazerBlader, and those Vikings ready to go up in the air, making the biggest difference in the end. So, gotta commend RazerBlader for that win. It really just goes to show you can make a big difference with one small position. But now we are going to be getting into our second map, and I believe it will be something that is always seen as per usual. We can go into it again, and this is going to be a 1-0 lead right now for Mr. RazerBlader. I'm just going to be confirming that we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, because we are not going to stop in this series. This has been a great one so far. It has been worth the wait, and I hope you guys can enjoy this one with me as well. But there you go. It is still a best of 5. There is still a big chance here for nOtoRioUsPiG to take this W. But as we move on into Eternal Empire, we'll see who's going to be the one to be able to edge it out on these maps that are very familiar for both of our players. For now, though, RazerBlader with the 1-0 lead, and can he run away with it? That's going to be the question here. nOtoRioUsPiG has been notorious here to keep on up, and he can really show his stuff in a game like this. Let's find out what Eternal Empire is all about. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go again into another one on this TVT. 1 inch is all it takes for one map to go completely awry, but let's introduce our players here and now. Here on the southwest side of Eternal Empire LE, it will be our Australian player, the Red Terran, nOtoRioUsPiG. Pig or Piglet, you know, whatever you want to call him. He's cleaning on in and looking to show on up as much as possible, but his opponent is one for the books, one that really represents. It is going to be a red drag zone, Piglet. The interesting orgs behind these two players, Legacy Esports, been an entity for quite a while. Red Dragons, in the meantime, used to be known as Forge Force Gaming, and they do have both T-Bolt and RazerBlader under the banner on the pro side. In the meantime, of course, Legacy Esports, we see so many of them into this bracket already. A while ago, we saw the civil war basically between Pig as well as Peppy. Still got Azure, NXT, Probe, Runamok, and T-Gun in as well. And they have been such a mainstay of the ANC Pro League. It's really something that they love to represent on in the first place. But back to the game. RazerBlader getting his scouting on. It seems like Pig giving him an open door. He will be going for that wall on in, perhaps with the add-on instead. And it's all about vision for the supply depot so far. In the meantime, RazerBlader very confident with a map as big as Eternal Empire. Then you can go for a pretty cheeky second base out of greed and out of necessity as well. Rack's gonna be online, Reaper gonna be into play here, and the factory is gonna be there as well. Something to take note though is Pig is lagging behind a little bit on the buildings because he does go for twin refineries right now. So what is going to be the plan of action? If he's going for twin refineries and he only has 3 of them on the gas, would have been better to have them all ready to go. But I wouldn't be surprised, there you go, that he is going to be adding up on the gas count. What kind of unit will Pig be up to coming into this one? Command Center. Going to be next on the list here for our Australian side. It seems like RazerBlader making the SCV and the Reaper dance so far. In that case though, Reactor Tech gonna be into play, Hellion onto the outskirts as well. And in the meantime, RazerBlader getting his second guess up and running here and now. Starport now into play. Seems like it's an earlier CC before the Starport here, but in any case, it's all about the expansions after the 1-1-1, or in this instance, the 1-1 expand, or the 1 expand 1-1. You know, numbers are kind of difficult. The Piglet will be able to go for the Cyclone to try and defend. A good jack of all trades. Really good lock-on ability as well if need be. Just maybe that gas going into a good department on the defense. Maybe a little harassment coming into the near future as well. This has been a pretty solid start so far to our series. As we said before, they're on Everdream. 1 inch with the siege tank, making the difference. We'll see though if Eternal Empire can stand strong for one of these two players. As the Terran versus Terran matchup, gonna be looking to go for the clash very soon. You have your standard 4 Hellion affair. It seems like the reactor tech can be swapped on over to the barracks instead. And with the Tech Lab online, Cyclone gonna be next on the list here for RazerBlader as well. Pig though going on to the outside, doesn't have the barracks though, doesn't have the bunker though rather, so might be taking a little bit more damage if he cannot put the mitigation here. But the Cyclone is at the very least in position, so he can get the lock on and run on away. But in the meantime, it's all about scouting information right now. And RazerBlader, what are you gonna be seeing in your spotting eye? That's the question that we want to answer. You know, I'm not a pro player, so really these guys, the moment they find something out, they know what exactly is going on. So that's really the impressive part of it. I really cannot tell sometimes without like observer mode in all honesty. So it really just goes to show there is that experience here for both of our teams. They are going to be looking to react accordingly. And from what RazerBlader has seen, he's feeling very confident to go for a third base. Pig gonna be doing the same old thing. He doesn't really need to get even more information after natural because RazerBlader is having a very mech-based approach right now. And will he be going commitment onto the mech? That's the question there. He's still sticking on 1-1-1. And it is gonna be the Reaper though, moving on over to the north side of the map. And Pig gonna be losing that scouts, but gets some really vital information so far. Sees his opponent going for that third CC first, but here we go right now with the bio approach instead. And well, for RazerBlader, at least he's set up in a way that he has a pretty good force to defend. He's up on the army count, down only by 2 workers. And with the CC coming online very soon, it seems like both sides are again even on the economy here. But as we said before, the gas there from Pig earlier on, so he will have less minerals in total. And what is going to be planned with that extra gas in? So we saw the Cyclone already. What's next on the list? Set up here though from Pig. And this is one thing I love to commend about him. He really knows how to position these siege tanks accordingly. And he's always in the way of his opponent. He was waiting for RazerBlader to show up on that ramp. And he sets up accordingly. They're here for the side of RazerBlader. Twin engineering base this time for this guy. Seems like though for Pig gonna be doing the same old thing, and twin upgrades are always a scary sight to see. That 1-1 timing attack with the 1 step back, with the 1 combat shield, and maybe even the 1 concussive shell, which I love to call the 1-1-1, 1-1 with 3. It's a stupid name for a really solid build, and you know, Bio is just king of the meta so far. In the case though, seems like a little bit of a standstill here, and we can talk about at least what the plan of action here for both of our players are. We have a number of Marines here for the side of Pig. He has also 4 siege tanks, same old thing there for RazerBlader, but it seems like he's not really as set up in a way like Pig. He already has these things on siege mode, so he knows where to defend, and maybe just maybe if RazerBlader can get another inch against his opponent, he can surprise him by going somewhere that Pig is not ready for it so far. But in terms of vision, Pig does see everything onto the north side. In the middle of the map, the Selnaga Tower giving him that information. But RazerBlader is on the outskirts, and he has his own Selnaga Tower into play as well. Who needs sensor towers when you can use the free one on the map? But Pig is going to be looking for a little bit of harassment with the Ravens. Lots of energy onto this one, so auto turrets can be thrown like candy and just holla, get the turret on. Free Fire going to be looking to get into this natural so far. And we'll see how this setup is going to unfold. On the south side of the mineral line, it's raining turrets, hallelujah! And Pig bringing in the DPS on. RazerBlader reacting a little too slow for my comforts. And that's nOtoRioUsPiG getting some really good damage there. So many workers going on down in the first place. Seems like our players though did not enable game hard, so it's all fine there. But on the south side, the medevac's gonna be floating on around. Siege tank still getting the DPS on. And GG is called! The Doom Drop is ready to go. RazerBlader gets that victory. Anticipation doesn't even need to see the results. Those medevacs having enough of those units, and Pig gonna be calling it there. You know, for me, I really wish that players do at least try it out, but I really understand the reasoning there from Pig. He just wasn't ready for it. As we said before, the siege tanks were set up on the low ground, siege tanks were set up on the third base, and it will take too much sweet time for them to get into the main. Pig feeling that that is just gonna be way too much damage coming his way, and he will call it there for that second map. So kind of unfortunate because he did get something out of that auto turret drop, but unfortunately, since he didn't get the information, he didn't get the scout in time. That is just gonna be RazerBlader getting another dub on the board, and he is now just one map away. One map away, ladies and gentlemen, from moving on into the ESL ANZ Champs group stage, joining the likes of Ender, Mio, Micah, as well as Bliss. And we also have two more representatives there. I remember, of course, off the top of my head, SEA side, but I believe there is also who else is there? Azure, right? Yeah, Azure is there, as well as NXC to round things up. So it's a really strong group stage so far, adding in whoever won from the first qualifier there, which were Demi, Ez, Quantum, and T-Bull. It really goes to show there's a lot of competition in the region coming into this one. But as we are waiting on right now for our third map to get up and running, waiting for the lobby invite there, RazerBlader just literally one step ahead, and one step, one itch, that kind of thing. It just makes the difference there, and Pig is doing a really good job, in all honesty, to keep up against RazerBlader, and even staying ahead in many instances. But unfortunately, just those small little nuances is where RazerBlader truly shines, and he is now just one map win away from making this happen. The man from UK representing Pakistan as well, really impressing so far, and it seems like our third map has been confirmed to be Deathaura LE. So RazerBlader getting two so far, and we'll see right now if the speed zones can help out Pig and moving around the map. It's time for do or die. It's time to see if RazerBlader can get this done, and we'll find out if Pig can go for the reverse sweep. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are at it again. This is a semifinal match between our two Terrans, and it has been a solid effort so far. But introducing first, the man down by 2. But if you want to make a storyline, it's time to go for the start of the beginning of the reverse sweep. It is our red Terran here on the northwest, nOtoRioUsPiG. And his opponents on the southeast side of Deathaura LE, he's bringing Death Destruction and quite an aura for himself, really dominating the bracket so far in the qualifiers. It's our blue Terran, RazerBlader. Now, enough about the histories and about the introductions. This game has been so solid so far. This match has been so solid so far. And it really just goes to show that those small little instances there are just enough to tip the scales in the favor of RazerBlader. But on that first game, you know, that one siege tank, it's like, okay, I'm getting free shots on your CUC, I'll take it. On that second game, a Doom drop perhaps didn't need to be necessarily a Doom drop there, but Big just saying, no, I'm not gonna take that. I'm not gonna even bother with that one, and he just calls it quit there. Understandable, but as I said, I do love to see people fight it out rather than go for the early GG. But hey, we'll find out now if Pig can make it happen. He's the one with the wisdom. He's the one with the experience. We'll see right now with the racks looking to go online. Our command gonna be there as well. In the meantime, RazerBlader will be going for the 1 racks into the CC yet again. I think the note here is Pig hasn't really been able to punish this early expansion from the previous game. We'll see though if Pig right now can do something a little bit different, because if there's a build order, he's been pretty strong with that one, but yeah, just that one little small thing that happens every single map so far. For the time being, RazerBlader again having the Stanson Reaper in position. Always good to see the patrol there adding up to the APM as well with a few clicks here and there. But looking at that Aura LE, it's one of those standards again in this, pool of maps, that there is a triangle formation between the first, the second, and the third base there. For now though, for the little of the setup yet again, we'll be keeping an eye out for the time being. As of the moment, will be our Terran player trying to get in position coming into this one. Still though, Tech Lab Reactor is going to be into play as well. And time is absolutely teetering on over here for Pig. He needs to be on the clock and make this happen so far. But 2 base is going to be up and running here for Pig very soon. RazerBlader though set up, and he even has the bunker for the defense. So things are looking really good here for RazerBlader so far. He's getting his 1-1-1 set up. He has a defense ready to go. And there's nothing too cheeky here from Pig so far. He only needs a Hellion and 2 Reapers to pretend that they are bouncers on the staircase here. And looking at the map of Deathaura LE, this is acceleration zone generators in the middle of the map, allowing to go pretty speedy over to the other side. We'll find out if Stimpack plus speed boost equals absolutely marathon runners there. But for the time being, Pig is going to get his 1-1-1 set up as well. What's that tech lab for the starport perhaps to use? The factory going to be going over somewhere a little bit different, right beside the racks and the starport. This is the 1-1-1 standard. This is something you screenshot, ladies and gentlemen, to show someone how it's done in terms of the build. Although reactor tech going to be into play, Marine's going to be there as well. And historically, it's been a solid set so far. In this instance though, you know, it's Pig looking to get a few more Marines into play, and you know, at SUV moving over to the natural as well. The slower pace game coming into this one, it seems like for both sides they're not going to be tempting fates and will leave each other to their own devices for the time being. The low here and now, that's going to be the brawl from the Reapers, and RazerBlader spotting that one at the last moments. Pig though, seeing the starport, seeing the factory, knows his opponent is pretty much on the same kind of build as him. But the fun thing to note that RazerBlader does is as soon as Pig gets this out, that's when SimCity decides to build something completely different. We saw it last game on Eternal Empire. Pig saw the command center, and then RazerBlader immediately went into 3 racks. Same old thing right here, 3 racks as well as the CC on. And even a reactor here for the starport, and Pig is taking no chances. He's like, okay, you fooled me once before. I'm going for the scan. This time I know exactly what's going on, and RazerBlader knows that his opponent knows that he knows. For now though, it seems like Pig will be getting his 4th gas up and running. In terms of the units though, we do see at least 1 Reaper there for Pig, and besides that, almost everything is similar. A few more Marines there for RazerBlader in a handful and a finger, but besides that, with the 3 worker advantage, it's very, very similar tidings here and now for both sides. There we go again, Pig unfortunately supply blocking himself for a little bit. Gonna be a few seconds there to get in the way, but for the time being, at least our Terran is mitigating that one with more supply depots here, there, and everywhere. I wonder what kind of food supply depots really have in the first place. Is it like chicken? Is it like beef? Is it really just MREs and all the like? RazerBlader is trying to build his own military force with 5 racks, gonna be getting on this 2 base setup. Although he's feeling confident to get his 3rd base up and running, so his economy should be good enough for the long haul so far. Scan gonna be online yet again. It seems like it's RazerBlader giving a little bit of the same kind of information. And Pig right now gonna get spotted, sticking around with this 3 rack setup. He has his 3rd base also ready to go. All he needs to do right now is lift it down below. But here comes trouble, as that is going to be a little bit more there from Pig going on around. And unfortunately, doesn't really lead too much, because that is just RazerBlader having so much in the bank so far. On thirds into play, that's the Reaper getting in the way as well. And my oh my, Pig trying to be cheeky this time, but just going to get caught out by RazerBlader instead. Seems like though, action going to be coming very, very soon. These siege tanks going down to the low ground. But this is just Pig creeping ever so closer to try and potentially get 1 more turret down below. But missile turret already set up here by RazerBlader, saying enough is enough. No more air shenanigans. And interesting here, it's Pig going for the sensor tower as well. We'll be keeping an eye out in a setup like this. We'll be keeping an eye out on what this is going to be truly all about. As here we go right now with Pig getting his lone marine scouting there to get caught out in the open. Although for Terran, moving on over to the north side of the map. And that we go again with the siege tanks getting the setup on. So for now, Pig just has to be careful. He needs to pay attention to where these medevacs are going to be going. RazerBlader, though, in the meantime, moving over to the west side. And with the sensor tower into play, at least Pig can react. There we go, though, with the Eye Matrix gets the stun onto the 2 siege tanks. They can't shoot, and the Marine Bulk is into play here. But shock cannons from the south side there, from the north side, rather, from Pig. But here we go again. Does RazerBlader have the vision? He's staying on the high ground so far. There we go with the scan yet again. And right now, RazerBlader is staying on to the west side there with the Marines. Pig this time giving it up and going over to another base instead. Doesn't want a repeat of Everdream, and he still has these workers so far, so he should be good to go in that area. So retreat in order, not gonna be the worst loss there for Pig, but that is extra mining time for RazerBlader to build on Buttercup and build even more in behind all of this. Still though, action isn't over yet, because RazerBlader now is looking for trench warfare here, and look at them just stare each other off with a mean look or two. In any case, upgrades are online here for both Pig as well as RazerBlader, but RazerBlader is going to be going for his own +2/+2 kind of affair. On the other side, since Pig has to wait it out and rebuild those refineries, rebuild and set up with those SCVs, he can't go for the upgrades as of yet, and this might be the inch turning into mile very, very soon, because this is where RazerBlader just is able to take the lead away from Piglet. It's just when he's able to do one small thing, and it just makes such a big difference. And for Pig, he can't go for an early GG. He has to play this out. He has to try and survive, because this is truly his last chance in the upper bracket. If not, he falls over to the low bracket, has to brawl against everyone else staying there. And it will be a tough test, truly, for any single player. For now, though, this has been a great run so far in the upper bracket, and we'll see how many lower bracket matches we can cover after this one. But the Siege Tanks right now moving on over again into the center. It seems like Pig is the one looking to go on the offensive instead. RazerBlader, in the meantime, backing on that, looking around to see if there's anything cheeky happening in the first place, because you might feel like, okay, Pig gave that base a little too much for free. You might have another base up and running somewhere on the map. But in this instance, they are going to be meeting themselves in the middle of all of this. Pig is trying to get away from the sensor tower range. There we go with a step back on in, though. But here comes the Marine reinforcements. And the anti-armor, absolutely huge here from nOtoRioUsPiG. But RazerBlader with the more forces coming on back. Siege Stacks, though, blowing everything up to Kingdom Come. And Piglets making that one happen with the Raven in hand. All the Marines are pretty much dead. And Pig has to back on out instead. The survival of the fittest, and nOtoRioUsPiG makes that one happen, giving him the army count lead. Beautiful anti-armor to give him the advantage here, but still not enough to get the victory over RazerBlader, because he is already ready with +2. And the more Marines RazerBlader has, the scarier that +2 is gonna be. He's been ahead on the bio count for the time being. Seems like Pig, though, having a band of brothers here on the south side already, and wants to go for the stimp back on into this upcoming port base. Going for the shots here and there onto the SCVs. Plant Tower Fortress can shoot up in the air. That big turret will say, "Hello, good sir," but it's going to be running on away instead. For now, though, Pig gonna be using these medevacks for baits. Afterburners right now into play to try and get them the hell out of there. Sensor tower, though, spotting out the rest of this army. And here we go again! Pig is out of position! And this is gonna be RazerBlader going on to the third base here and now. Siege tank, though, set up, but there we go with the Marines getting over there. And seems like a base race gonna be in order here, but a +2 might be enough here. Liberators, though, in the defense mode onto the high ground, and RazerBlader cleaning house yet again, going for the push, going for the run on by. And RazerBlader right now with guns ablazing yet again. There we go, though, with a +2 online for Pig as well. Onto the main base we go with a drop from the third to the first. Here comes RazerBlader, though, onto the main base as well. The supply depot doesn't get up just in time, and it's now time to clean up house and get rid of those SCVs. What action we have in this game! But it feels like Pig is on the back foot, and without these workers, there is no more production here for Pig. RazerBlader is at the edge here, and he is cutting Pig up the dry, making him a feast for the king. RazerBlader is doing all he can, and more Pig in the meantime trying to survive here with going for the base race here and now. But as the CC is burning on down, you can see who has the advantage in this instance. RazerBlader, though, with the lesser army, so we'll see if it is going to be enough. 9 of these Marines left on the list, and RazerBlader gonna be losing out too much on that bio book. Still, though, Pig has to back on out. Those SCVs are dying left, right, and center. RazerBlader will be able to not survive, because Pig will win out the base race there. And it could have gone either way, I was very afraid there for Piglet in so many instances, but he was able to defend. RazerBlader ran out of Marines, and Pig will survive for map number 4. What a game that was. What a ending. And I really do think that RazerBlader could have taken it there. Could have been very scary there for Pig, but he went at it. He went for the base raise, and that is the risk that you sometimes need to take. What a way to get a W from nOtoRioUsPiG. Wow, I just gotta commend him for that performance in all honesty, because that was just such a good decision, getting the lift off from third to first base with the medevacs, and really just using how the map is structured because of the triangle formation of the first, second, and the third. And I was really scared for him because, again, out of position there, and we saw in the first 2 maps that he was like, okay, I'm done after this, but no, he stuck by it, and this time he took the W. And we are gonna go into map number 4. I'm kind of shaking after an ending like that. What a way. What a way to get a dub. That's truly it. So, we are going to be getting into map number 4. Let me just calm down and let's confirm the map, which will be Pillars of Gold LE. So, similar kind of setup. That's a triangle going to be there yet again. But we are going to be going at it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, RazerBlader on match point still. But Piglet has started the first step of the reverse sweep. Can he keep it up? That's going to be the question. We'll find out as we get into the game. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are at it again. A red Terran on the ropes, surviving, punching, kicking, not letting up whatsoever, really wanting to stay alive here in the upper brackets. And this is truly what this is StarCraft all about. Whew. Introducing first though, on the top right of Pillars of Gold LE, the man who made it happen in the last map. It is our red Terran, Piglets, or nOtoRioUsPiG. But his opponents on the southwest side of Pillars of Gold LE, it will be our blue Terran instead, RazerBlader. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm getting a very important phone call. I'll just throw it over to someone else. We're back, guys, and where are we in this game? A minute and 40, so not really much being done, but I just got chills after that's ending there. It's just absolutely impressive how that one worked. What an ending, you know? Pig took the calculated risk, a very big risk, and he made it happen. So he survives. We get a map number 4. And we're here. We're good to go yet again. So for now though, Pig with the racks, Pig with the factory as well. In the meantime here for RazerBlader, on to the same old thing, racks into the CC. So a very economic focus here from RazerBlader. But we saw magic happen a while ago from Pig. He was on the back foot. He got the army advantage back with an amazing anti-armor push, catching out RazerBlader for a surprise. And then, you know, the base race just happening, basically. That was pretty much it. But in terms of how things do pan out, RazerBlader has gotten more success out of, well, his build compared to Piglet. He's getting that extra boost from the earlier CC, and since Pig isn't able to really punish it, we're not seeing the cheesiness, we're not really seeing that super early aggression from him, then RazerBlader is just able to build on that. We saw it on Everdream, we saw it especially on Eternal Empire. And on that aura, he was able to really get the push off in the first place. But I really like the decision there from Pig. It's something I said in the previous game on Everdream as well. If he lifts off instead and decides, okay, I'm just gonna make a play, make a fight, that is where he can truly shine. But in any case, enough about those other maps. Let's look into this one instead. Same old thing though. Seems like for Pig, he really loves getting that Cyclone just in case for really those defensive purposes. And the factory gonna be happy to give him that. In the meantime, Order Command up and running here for RazerBlader. Starport getting that Tech Lab as well, and we'll see what kind of setup this is going to be all about. Helion though catching out the Reaper there. Pig getting the scouting information that he needs. And for now, see if this tech is going to be enough in the first place. Still though, Pig right now going to be looking for a little bit more. Cyclone going to be here for RazerBlader as well. And for now though, these are going to be Marines going onto the outskirts yet again. Salvage though into play. Seems like RazerBlader was anticipating a little bit of a push there from Pig, but it doesn't happen yet again, so it is what it is for the time being. Still though, Raven's going to be online for both sides, and they have really been a big part of this TVT matchup. We've seen the yacht turrets do work. We've seen the interference matrices gets the stun on basically onto siege tanks, and the biggest one has to be the anti-armor to allow Pig to get back into this match. But we are back into that stance, so it feels like it really is just World War I, trench warfare here, that both sides respect each other, both sides let each other do whatever the hell they want, and they let the big battle do the talking instead. Not the biggest harassment in this game, interesting enough. It's very macro focused. It's very focused onto that big battle. And with the scans online, it seems like here for Pig, he is just trying to get that information yet again. But what is the plan here for RazerBlader? A while ago, he was playing it in a way that as soon as the Reaper dies, that's when he builds his other production structures. This time, he waited for the scan, but he's not going to be doing it as of yet. Doesn't really have the resources so far for it. But as I say that, it seems like he's going to be getting Vikings as well as Siege Tank into play as well. Even though going to be on the list here, Piglets with the Marines as well as the Siege Tanks as well. And the Cyclone's not going to be meeting each other, but the lock-on here for RazerBlader will allow him to get that kill instead. That's a freebie there for RazerBlader that he will love to take because that Cyclone just so pesky to deal with in the first place. And now this Raven can just have a really good time in the first place. RazerBlader though gets spotted on out with the scan yet again. And for now, the starport's gonna be getting the reactor here instead. That's gonna be also in the play. It seems like, well, we will have Pig looking to set up on the defense here. And for RazerBlader right now, he's just looking around to see where is the opening. 3 Ravens though into play. The Vikings are gonna be looking to take care of that. Marines though try to protect their spellcasters there. It's all about making sure that you can get a pick off onto one of those crucial units, and RazerBlader knows that without those Ravens, it's a lot easier for him to just basically bum rush his way to victory. There we go though with the Matrix getting the connection, and here comes the Ravens right now trying to get back in position. There's still so much energy to use up in the first place, and Authors right now gonna be dropping on down yet again. Siege though still in position, blowing on up the air units there, but RazerBlader right now dropping on down, and that is where the armor count advantage goes. RazerBlader will move on, and that is what map 4 is all about this time. He seals it with a kiss, with a deal breaker, and RazerBlader is one of your group stage contestants. What a series that was, and what a win for RazerBlader, but it really was just the writing on the wall there. If he can just do the same old thing every single time, and if he can get that advantage there, he will be able to get the victory in the first place. RazerBlader, moving on, representing the UK, representing Pakistan there, and it forms up the trifecta of the top 3 UK players in the SC ANZ region. So kudos to him. Pig though really impressing there, and it really feels like he's just shaking off a little bit of that ring rust here and there. It's still so different when you're in a tournament setting, and he's been so impressive. He's someone to watch out for, especially on that lower brackets. But as we are going to be updating our scoreline real quick, sorry about that, it really feels like for nOtoRioUsPiG that he just needs to get back not only into his form, he just needs to realize what his opponent is really doing per se, and look to punish that instead of playing his own kind of game. But that's where he really shines in the first place. That's where he does his best kind of work, is when he's able to play his own build. And in a matter where RazerBlader is doing his own thing, nOtoRioUsPiG is doing his own thing. Since RazerBlader has the better economy there, that's kind of where the cookie crumbles for Pig, and that is it for our semifinal in the first place. So what a match, what a series that was. And we'll be looking to do some other lower bracket round matches for the time being, as we are trying to see who's going to be making it over to that last slot as well. But looking into this game, 3-1, RazerBlader, surgical at its finest, doing all he can and more, impressing on all of those maps. Pig, though, clutching it out in Deathaura, but the clutch just isn't enough in the first place. So that's going to be it for us here and now. And I'm going to be calling it for the time being. We'll be right back. We'll look into the lower bracket. Stay tuned, stick around. This is my coverage of the ANZ SEA Qualifier number 2 for the ESL ANZ Champs. Sitting up, of course, for DreamHack SC2 Masters Fall. And what a victory that was. Congratulations to RazerBlader. Moving on over to the group stage.